Hello friends, and welcome to the 9th tutorial in the Fantasy Leather Armor series. This time, I'll be showing you how to make the Tassets. This tutorial was filmed at the same time as the previous Gorget tutorial, so there will be some similarities, and as with that video, I will skim over some of the processes that we've explored in past videos. If this is your first time here, I suggest checking out the breastplate or the helmet video that'll expand on the basics in greater detail. The pattern for this project will be available on the PrinceArmory site and linked below. Thanks for dropping by, and please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support this and future videos. Thanks go to Weaver Leather for their support for this round of video tutorials. The leather as well as many of the tools used in this video are from Weaver Leather. If you haven't already, use my affiliate link below and browse their online store, which is packed with awesome tools, hardware, and leather. The first step is to print the patterns. Just make sure to print using the tiled page option so it doesn't come out on one page. Then you'll tape the pages together and cut the pattern pieces out. You'll have a few options for the tassets with this pattern. As always, there are two styles included, but beyond that there are a few widths you can choose from. The small size tasset is meant to be suspended from the front as a growing covering. The medium sized one is meant to be used for the side. And if you desire a tasset for the back, use the large one. One additional option is to merge the wide and the medium tasset patterns together if you wish to have a slightly wider and asymmetrical style. You can build and arrange them however you wish, but these are the default suggestions. Lay out your pieces as efficiently as you can in trace. When you're ready to cut, separate the larger sections into more manageable pieces and finish the cuts from there. I'm using Weaver's Premium Select Vegetable Tan Leather in 10 ounce for this project. I'm using a box cutter to separate and my heavy shears from Weaver for the final cuts. Transfer the decorative lines to your pattern using a ballpoint pen or a stylus. I'm using an edge groover in reverse to mark the narrow border, and I'm using a compass for the inner border. Either tool could be used for both lines, but doing it this way means I can set each tool once for the project. I use a swivel knife to cut in my border lines. It may seem excessive to carve in something simple like a border, but it gives a crisp line, and it's built-in practice. Keep in mind that I will be making more advanced guides in the future, and this will leverage the skills that you are building here. Alternatively, you could just use the edge groover and make fast, easy border lines. It's always good practice to edge your pieces for comfort and aesthetics. I'm using Weaver's edgers for this. One thing to note about Weaver's edgers is they have a thick meaty handle, which I like a lot. Then while the leather is still damp, I'll burnish the edges slightly with a hand slicker. With the border and decorative lines cut, I'll make them pop by tooling them with a smooth beveling stamp. like to give most of my projects a little shape. Here I'm just dishing each piece slightly. Wet molding is one of the courses I'm planning to make this year, which hopefully will demystify this process and encourage more leatherworkers to utilize it in their projects. I'll make the holes using a handheld hole punch from Weaver. The force multiplying design of this tool makes it my favorite. I'm really a big fan of this one. It makes it so much easier. Now it's time to dye the pieces. As with the gorget, I'll be using Phoebing's Pro red and black oil dyes. I'll start with the red to do a quick pass of the inner areas, and then frame it by going over the borders in black. If you attempt this, you can do a second coat of black to touch up any areas that don't get covered completely. To finish and seal the leather, I'll be using Weaver's Tough Coat, and then even out the finish with a final pass where I've wrung out most of the finish from the sponge. Now it's time for assembly. I'll be using Weaver's black double cap rivets for the assembly of the straps for the centerpieces. And to assemble the side pieces, I'll be using their black Chicago screws. The tassets will be attached with small buckles. I'm using 5/8 inch black buckles from Weaver here. Please see the standalone video for additional instructions concerning straps and buckles. As for mounting, you actually have a lot of options according to your preferences. As a general rule, I tend to mount any buckle hardware so the tongue end will hang either down or back. I suggest that you test out a few configurations before committing the straps to the breastplate, and do a wear test when marking your holes to ensure fit and mobility. But please feel free to copy what I have done here, which is to mount the medium tassets with a bias to the sides and angled slightly to give them a more dramatic appearance. You can also use a longer strap in the back to provide additional adjustment and flexibility. As a helpful tip for putting the breastplate and tassets on and off, after you get the initial adjustment the way you want it, from then on all you really need to do is unbuckle the front buckle of one side of the tasset and the side buckles from the breastplate, and just slip out from the side. The gauntlets, legs, and a few other items are still coming for this suit, so make sure to subscribe and get notifications to catch future videos. If you'd like to help support future videos, please consider chipping in on Patreon, and of course check out the patterns. I'm also planning to do a Kickstarter to help pre-fund a series of courses that'll go over more advanced techniques, so keep an eye out for that. On that note, I'd be really interested to hear your comments on what topics you would like me to cover. Thanks again for watching, I'll catch you next time.